his turban, they pour wine on his head, forced him to die. Igbos cannot rule Nigeria, and I want to remove the curse today. You know what happened? The day they killed Tafawa Balewa, they removed his turban, they pour wine on his head, forced him to drink, and shot him. And while he was being killed, he said, none of your tribe will ever rule Nigeria.
Hello, people. I welcome you to my YouTube channel. Um, this particular video uh, accredited, or you can see and you heard uh, Pastor Tunde Bakare speaking, insinuating and implying from this video that Igbos are cursed, and that is why they cannot rule this country. And at the end of the day, he assumed the divine right and position to lift the curse on the Igbo tribe. And then he also implied from his statement that it's actually the Igbos that killed Tafalawa Belewa or Tafawa Belewa. All right. Um, um, I like to react to this. I'm really boiling and I just want to keep calm. I don't want to say what will really spark up some issues more than what is already online going on. I'm just adding my voice to the voices of many. To think that there was a time in my life that I thought that Pastor Tunde Bakare is the real apostolic voice in this country. To think that there was a time that I and my folks, my friends, thought he was the real deal. We followed his teaching and all his apostolic and prophetic reformation hocus pocus and jamborees. We were imbibing his teachings. He came out criticizing the fathers. We thought he was the voice that is about to bring the change in this country, only for us to realize eventually that all that was a scam, all that was in a bid to be noticed, in a bid to be in a bid to be acknowledged. Because I've learned quite a lot of things. I'm not that very old, but I've seen a lot of things in life. When people begin to criticize what they supposedly belong to or what they are supposedly part of, there is something very wrong and there's an ulterior motive somewhere. And that is what I've come to believe. When you see any pastor or clergyman who comes out criticizing the church, using all kinds of things to tell you that the people before him are wrong, that he is the real deal, watch that man. He's only an attention seeker. And I'm sorry to say that, as you know, I have a soft spot. Not just that I'm a soft spot. Many of you may not have noticed I'm also a pastor. All right? And as such, I have a soft spot for my colleagues. But for Pastor Tunde Bakare, a man that I once respected so much, to come up and say that the entire Igbos are a cursed nation because Tafalawa or Tafawa Belewa cursed them at the point of they killed him. This statement is a very pregnant statement. My question is, why is it coming out now? There's never been a time in the history of Nigeria that people are beginning to call out for Igbo presidency as much as now. And I believe strongly that come 2023, we'll have an Igbo president. It has nothing to do with the games that Pastor Tunde Bakare is trying to play with the minds of many. What Pastor Tunde Bakare released is actually a two-edged sword that could work either way. Number one, criticizing the Igbos and bringing in, pitching the Igbos against the North by trying to recreate the scene of Tafawa Balewa's death and saying it's the Igbos that actually did it by implication. That's what he's doing. At the same time, assuming a divine right to lift a curse on the Igbos, which I believe God never gave him. God never gave him the right. If Igbos were ever cursed, which I believe Igbos were never, Tunde Bakare is not the right man. We have enough voice, apostolic voices, real and genuine men of God in the Igbo, from the Igbo race, that can lift up whatsoever curse that is placed on the Igbo nation. So you don't have that right at all. You don't have the right. You are simply, as far as I'm concerned, a noisemaker, cunningly devised fable, strategically pitching the Igbos against the North. Not only pitching the Igbos against the North, recreating the scene of Tafawa Balewa's death, which of course, nobody's death nobody's life is worth anything. I sympathize for the North, for whatever happened. But recreating the whole scene right now is a two-edged sword. I know that you are a staunch and a strong supporter of Tinubu. I know that very well. So what you are doing is a two-edged sword, trying to pitch the Igbos against the North so that Tinubu will have an edge. And if it happens that an Igbo eventually becomes the president in 2023, you will say, I lifted the curse. We can't fall for this. In fact. See, if not, I know God. I've seen God. I've known God personally. If we're to look at what some of you are doing, it's enough for someone to. There was a time in my life I backslided, not as a baby Christian. Not as a baby Christian. I backslided as a supposedly mature because of what I see. So-called men of God, I still loved the Lord. I had a very strong passion in the midst of my backsliding. The Lord, I had several encounters. And I know that what you guys are doing is not it at all. Because of acts like this. Acts like this. How can a man of God, a supposedly called man of God, say this at a time like this? At the same time, assuming a right he never had to lift up curses on Igbos? Who made you a prophet over the Igbos? You don't have that right, man. You don't. Stop overrating yourself unnecessarily. At the point in this nation, you turned us against all the past, all the fathers, turned us against Bishop Oyedepo, turned us against Pastor P. Adeboye, turned us against all the fathers in this nation. Only for you to come and be praying. I don't just want to go into a lot of things. You messed up big time. You messed up big time. And for your information, come 2023, Igbos will become, an Igbo man will emerge the president of this country. And it is not, will never be credited to you. It will never be credited to you. What you released was a double-edged sword. I know what you do. We know the games you're playing. But it's not going to happen. It's not going in your ecclesiastical sense or whatever you think I know personally what you're trying to achieve with what you did. You are never a prophet over the Igbos. From where The Bible said, let he that thinks he stands, let him look, lest he fall. From where you have fallen, you better retrace back your steps and return back to God. What shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? Did it stride, signing out.